Next question, if AB4 molecule is a polar molecule, oh, that's very good, polar molecule. A possible geometry of AB4 is, okay, now in case of tetrahedral, and if you are having AB4, so the molecule is having a regular geometry, so it will be non-polar. So I should write that this is non-polar. Okay. Rectangular planar, see when you are talking about rectangular planar molecule, the point is that in one plane you are having the molecule and there can be two lone pairs at the max, one at the top, one at the bottom, which will cancel out the polarity. So even this one will also be non-polar. The third one, that is square pyramidal. See, when you get square pyramidal, in case of square pyramidal, you have got one lone pair, right? When there is one lone pair, there has to be some polarity. So third is our right answer. This is polar. Square planar also can have at the max of two lone pairs, at one at the top, one at the bottom, right? So this will also be non-polar. So the right answer is choice number 3. So you see, in a way, over here they want you to understand the geometry and how many lone pairs are there, and on the basis of that, how will you calculate the polarity of the molecule. So I must say that this is a good question. You know, it's from chemical bonding. It is dealing with hybridization. It's dealing with VAC-APAR theory, as well as also considering the polarity of the molecule. So very good question, I should say. Next, for the following assertion and reason. I know most of the time the moment you read assertion reason, oh my god, it must be tough. No, it's not like that. Let's have patience and look at the question properly. The assertion says when copper and sulfide ions are mixed, they react together extremely quickly to give a solid. Okay, this is the assertion. Fine. Now, is the statement true? Yes, the statement is true, no doubt. Let us see what is the reason given over here. The reason given is the equilibrium constant of this reaction is high. See, they are saying the equilibrium constant is high and they are saying they are reacting together extremely quickly. Now it says because the solubility product is low. Now dear friends, this is the main point and I really like this point. See, if you look at the reaction in the forward direction, you will be writing K equilibrium. Say suppose if I am writing KEQ rather than KC or KP. Dear friends, tell me, if I write the reaction in the opposite direction, CuS dissociating into Cu2 plus and S2 minus N, which equilibrium constant do you use? Tell me, you use solubility product constant. So that will be 1 by Ksp. Now see, all the things are falling into the place. K equilibrium is high, right? So Ksp should be low. The solubility product is low, right? Okay. So you see, they are giving every information to you, but the only point is, many students feel a bit confused. Sir, why are they talking about solubility product over here? They should only talk about the equilibrium constant. Why don't you write the equilibrium constant? And you see that yes, they are inversely proportional. So in that case, if the Ksp is low, K equilibrium should be high, right? So assertion is true, reason is true and is the correct explanation. So if I look at the choices over here, both A and R are true and R is the right explanation for A. Yes, choice number 3. So dear friends, if you observe the questions well, you will understand that they are trying to know much more than simply crammed knowledge. Okay, so that is what we are looking at. Let's look at the next question. The major product in this reaction is, see, the moment you look at such a question wherein you are having unsaturation bonded to a cyclic compound with some acidic medium over here, you can think of ring expansion, right? Let us see how the things are happening over here. I have observed that most of the students basically are confused when it comes to ring expansion. How? See, let us assume this is carbon number 1, this is the second one, right? Then third, then fourth, then fifth, and then sixth. And now I'll start solving the question. First of all, the H plus, which is an electrophile, is racking over here. So what happens? The moment H plus comes over here, which effect will come into the picture? Fast, yeah, electromeric, fine. The pi bond will shift over here. Why towards that side? Markovnikov's rule. Okay. Now you get a positive charge on first carbon atom. There is a possibility of ring expansion that the sixth carbon can pull away the electron from the second carbon and attack on the first one. Right. Now, I simply have to make a 6-membered carbon ring. Okay. Let's do the numbering. I'll start from here. So this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, this is 5, and this is 6. Now tell me, what is bonded to the first one? You are having one CH3. Right. Now you are removing the electrons from second, so there should be a positive charge on second. Yes, there is a positive charge, but at the same time there is a CH3 also bonded to second. Okay, fine. Now it's very simple. You have to eliminate one hydrogen which is there on the carbon atom number 1, and you are going to get a more substituted alkene by the Syzyev's rule. Okay, so what is the right answer? The right answer is choice number 3. Let us have a look at all the choices. So, first and second are not correct. Third is also having 6 members. Fourth is also having 6 members. But in which case you are following the Syzyev's rule? The third one, right? So, if you are applying all the concepts, all the mechanism one by one, right? Let's go to the next question.